Hi, my name is Andrew McLaren, and I want to help clarify what you need to know on the AP Chemistry exam. I've known a lot of students are having to convert between KC and KP in their AP classes. That's something that you might do in college, but it isn't really expected to be on tests for the most part. But you do need to know the conceptual difference between these two things for the AP exam. Like you do need to know that Kc is really concentrations, so that's like moles over liters, and then pressures and like atmospheres or another unit of pressure like torr or something like that. So these Kc and Kp values can be converted between the two of them, but you're not really expected to do that conversion on the AP exam. Which much more important is being able to recognize that you do not include solids or pure liquids in a K equilibrium. The essential idea here is if you were to like double the amount of solid, it doesn't take up that much more space in a vessel for the most part. When we're talking about things competing over space, the amount of space for a gas, it can very much take more or less space up depending on if there's other gases around. So this competition of space is going to be including like ions or like gas and in solution or gases in that atmosphere or some competition of space. So if you are trying to convert between these two things, there is a formula, and it's not that complicated of one, but it's hard to really wrap your brain around and fully explain. So if we're having a change of moles of gas, because we're talking about pressure here, you need to then take that concentration C and times it by RT up to the power of the change in N. So that is something that you're going to sometimes see on some homework assignments, but probably not on a test in like a college class. So if we're looking here, only situation where Kc is equal to Kp is when the change in N is 0. And any number up to the 0 power becomes just 1. And so Kc is equal to Kp when we have the same amount of moles of gas here. And as you can see here, we've got 2 moles of gas and 2 moles of gas. The more important part here is recognizing that the solids, because they are solid, you don't really include them in K equilibrium. So that's the main focus that you should be taking for the AP exam, is recognizing what you're including in a K equilibrium value, either concentration or pressure. Kc is concentration, Kp is pressure. There is a problem. I went over some of the stuff with a student that I wanted to just show you, like the work for one of these problems here with the Kp and Kc. This was a problem where there was a change of the moles of gas. We had 5 moles of gas. We went to being 4 moles of gas. So the change in the N was a -1 value. And so we multiplied these two numbers together and then put up that negative first power to get the Kp value here. That being said, that isn't something that you really need to focus or spend much time on in AP chemistry or even college chemistry. It will be a minor point on the exam in college, and it won't even be present in AP Chem.